All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, back at y'all in another one. Got B up in here. We got Marlon up here, man. We got some stuff to talk about with the Saints. It's been some slow news as of late, but right now we got to talk about the Saints draft pick at 8. We got options. We just been talking about what we going to go offense. We're gonna go defense. We're gonna go get a wide receiver. We're gonna go get a safety. We just don't know. But before we get into that, I think I gotta get your opinion, B, on the moves that we made in the free agency. With getting Travis Etienne. I don't think I got your opinion on all the moves that we did make within free agency, man. First of all, how your day going and what you think about the moves the Saints had made?
Man, my day going lovely, bro. I ain't got no complaints out here. Just getting to the money. As far as the Saints, man, I can't say I have any disagreements with the moves they made. It's even with the personnel. It's not like we knew the Saints needed a running back, and they addressed the position. Of course, 18. Let me stop calling him 18. He don't like that. Achan, like he's one of the guys, man. That if you had to say, okay, who would I like the Saints to pick up? He's a name that would have been at the top of your list. David Edwards, the top guard, top rated guard in free agency. The Saints got him as well. So, and then they made a couple of true moves here and there. You bring in a tight end, and you know what I'm saying, to solidify things with Noah Fant to help him and stuff like that. So the moves that they made, man, make a lot of sense. And it didn't look like they overspent to get anybody. Now there's still a Chris Olave situation that's looming over their heads and stuff like that. They got to figure out what they want to do. From what I understand, 30 million just not the number they want to hit, give or take. I mean, if you're gonna give him 29, you can give him 30. I don't agree with the move, but they're gonna end up making it anyway. So I have no complaints with what the Saints have done thus far this offseason, man. I'm still waiting to see what happens with Alvin. I think they want to kind of force him out. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, because it's better for them if he retires than it would be if they cut him. So, we'll see what happens with that. Then, of course, there's the Cam Jordan situation. He's still, lurking out there somewhere. And the idea of, he hasn't made up his mind yet. And I don't think it's a situation to where Cam has a lot of options. There's not
Hmm.
a lot of people beating down the door for a 37-year-old pass rusher, that has played his entire career in one setting. And really, did he show he could still ball last year? Of course, man. But everybody waiting for his fall off. They're not expecting him to do that again. So I ain't got no more. And my motto, man, get rid of all them old ass boys, man. Get them all off the team. Start this youth movement right.
Hmm. Yeah, man. I'm excited for the Travis signing. I'm excited for also the Ellis signing. I was a big fan of Ellis when he was with the Saints. Coming off getting 7, 8 sacks the last time he was in the Saints uniform. Uh, I think he could be a guy that could really help out with the void that Demario Davis has left. Um, shoot, I just think that we just gotta just nail it in the draft, man. Speaking of the draft, Marlon, what you think about 8? I've been seeing a lot of people on Saints Twitter just go back and forth. We should not get this position at 8, no matter what. We should not get that position at 8, no matter what. Like, have your opinion changed on 8 since then? Like, has anybody swayed you to look from a different perspective?
Nah, I'm kind of still like on the same prospects that I like. I mean, if Jeremiah Love fell on the board was a certain way, I still wouldn't pass. I've always had him and Caleb Downs too, like in the top two for me. I like Sonny Styles. I'll probably say after running a 40, Delane is an option. He's not my first, second, probably third option, but he's definitely an option. Um, the edge rushers are the edge rushers. I guess it comes down to preference. I always like Darvell Reese. I actually think he fit here. And I think that like a place like New Orleans is probably the best for him, but I don't think he's gonna be there. Ruben Bain, I never disliked Ruben Bain. I just thought that he was more of like a he just looked like a guy that's a defensive tackle. And then like in a 3-4, you like and he with the small arms and how he's built, you like, damn, can he play outside linebacker in the 3-4? But I like him as a player. I like him more than David Bailey. But you know, it is what it is on like the players. Far as the wide receivers, my favorite wide receiver always been Jordan Tyson. But Jordan Tyson with that injury history and not doing anything, he can't go at pick 8. I like Makai Lemon. I like Carnell Tate, that's not a top eight. Them are not top eight picks at wide receiver.
Mm.
So, in my opinion, like top eight picks, you gotta have like people can say whatever they want. You gotta have some type of physical trait that comes with you. Like, yeah, your game can be cool, but like I don't know if any of these guys would go ahead of like I don't know if any of these receivers like unless Tyson was full healthy, I think they would. I don't know if they would go ahead of like the 2022 class that had like Drake London, Wilson, Olave, and Jameson Williams. I don't think those dudes all brought like a physical element for it, whether it was speed and just shit like that. And I don't think that these guys have that.
Yeah, Marlon. I'm starting to hear a lot of people say that this draft is basically a draft full of sidekicks. You know, you get a lot of wingmen in this draft. It's not too many, stud superstars like outside of Caleb Downs and maybe Jeremiah Love. You really looking at a sidekick that you're just trying to pair with somebody. So, if we could get like a Sonny Styles, you could pair him with a Caden Ellis. You get like a Bain, you could pair him with a Chase Young. Do you agree on that type of perspective from this draft?
Yeah, I think it's like a. I think the Saints in certain positions like they lucky, like with the year Chase had and like the year like Olave had, like those guys are in your room. They're gonna be in your building for the at least the next probably 3 years, and like you can add to it because like this wouldn't be a draft. Like I wouldn't want to be in Cleveland, where I have to take a left tackle, but this left tackle is not close to Kelvin Banks as a prospect. I have to take a wide receiver, but at six, but this wide receiver is not close to what Malik Neighbors was as a prospect, and he went sixth. I wouldn't want to be in that scenario, but they good players. They're gonna help a team. It's just like I wouldn't want to be in a scenario where I'm counting on them to be the best player in my room in like each setting, and I wouldn't want to be in that situation. That's kind of how I would describe this draft.
What's your take on that, B?
I'm in a lot of agreement with Rainey, man. Except the idea of there's a notion to me that this draft doesn't have a lot of superstars, and I don't know if I agree with that part of it. Now, I'm not saying Rainey is saying that, but I do feel like defensively there are more superstars available in this draft than offensively. So to me, I would think the Saints are going to go defense with that first pick at 8. I don't think there's an offensive player that you can get outside of Jeremiah Love that really justifies the 8th pick. And I think Rainey
That
kind of alluded to that.
that's
You
where
look at
I that's
Carnell
where
Tate
I
as that.
agree
Yeah,
with him at.
yeah. I'm Carnell Tate is not an 8th pick. Makai Lemon not an 8th pick. Jordan Tyson, as Rainey stated, if he would have had a full season, he justifies the 8th pick. But you can't do that with his injury history. So me, I personally, my bubble is all defensive players. If you want to count a 4-player bubble, it's Caleb Downs, it's Sonny Styles. I know you say don't that where we disagree is I like David Bailey a little bit more than I like Ruben Bain as an edge. But Ruben Bain doesn't play. I don't think he plays well in the 3-4. That's just me. So
That's my
I
one
yeah,
concern with him too. Like with the body type,
yeah,
the small arms, and how he's built. I'm like, damn, do he hold up in the 3-4?
yeah. In a 4-3, he's an absolute stud. In a 3-4, I'm shaky because I don't know how he's gonna play if he's an outside backer. That
Yeah,
being said, like I said, my bubble, if Jeremiah Love is there, I don't care that you sign Travis, you still draft Jeremiah. That 1-2 punch alone says goodbye to Alvin Kamara, goodbye to Kendre Miller. Hell, and it's a 1-2 punch you can count on because I think Achan is like 28 years old. So you still have a guy when he's ready to kind of play that Mark Ingram role to Alvin Kamara. Achan can play that same thing to Jeremiah Love. They could be the 1-2 punch of Montgomery and what's the other cat name for him? Gibbs
Gibbs.
and Jameer Gibbs. That you could have that Gibbs Montgomery connection with Achan and Jeremiah Love. If not go offense, man, if that's what you're not gonna do, man, then defense is all the way to go. If it ain't Love, it's got to be Sonny Styles. It's got to be an Arvell Reese if he drops, which I doubt. It's got to be a Sonny Styles. These are the guys that immediate impact from day one. If you draft Sonny Styles, the minute you draft him, that's your starting middle linebacker. You put him next to Caden Ellis however you want to, but that's your starting linebackers right there, him and
Yeah,
Ellis. So that's why you have to make a move like that for a Sonny Styles. Arvell Reese becomes your pass rusher opposite of Chase. So you can justify getting one of those guys. Caleb Downs makes everything better in the secondary, even if you have Riley and Kool-Aid McKinstry starting. And then I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I know they don't normally do so, but if they draft Mansour Delane, I would not be mad at all. That's the number one corner in this whole draft. I ain't mad at it if they pick him.
Hmm.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
my
doing a lot
like.
of that last year with,
It's
with injuries.
Yeah, it's obvious that we need, we know we need a receiver. You can't just go out there with like one receiver and then a bunch of question marks after, especially with a younger quarterback. That was a mistake in the Drew Brees era that they did. But like, yes, I know they need a receiver. I'm not going to reach for one if a better defensive players on this not a team yet where you can just justify passing up on better players for need. You got to just take the best player, in my opinion. So that's why I say I have a lot of these defensive players ahead of wide receiver. Now, if you told me that they thought about like if they traded back like 5, 6 spots and took a wide receiver, I think that's a I've been had a high opinion of doing something like that. If like the defensive players they wanted weren't there, but like if they you just gotta take the best players. And again, I like these receivers, but I don't think that they're necessarily worth the 8 picks. So that's why I have the defensive players
And
higher.
I'm with you, Rainey. I said like maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and I got murdered for it. That if there was a player that the Dallas Cowboys wanted bad enough, charge you
Yeah,
all
cut
that,
off.
what a point value says you can't do that. I cut out.
Yeah, you got cut off for a
Can
little
you hear
bit.
me
We
now?
can hear you now. Yeah.
I bet. So I know, I said last week, bro. Maybe the week before, I said if the Dallas Cowboys had somebody they wanted bad enough, I'd like to see the Saints make that trade. Now I know everybody like to jack off to those, draft charts and like, well, the point value doesn't match us. Let me tell you something. In the NFL draft, that point value chart don't mean a goddamn thing. If Dallas wants a player bad enough, Jeremiah Love, if somebody falls to like, in the top of the draft that they wasn't expecting, and they want to go up and go get him, I could see Dallas saying, you know what, I'll trade you 12 and 20. Give me a a second round pick next year, but I'll trade you 12 and 20 this year, and we could trade back because we really want Jeremiah Love. Y'all just signed A-Chain, and y'all not really on that like that. And if they trade back to 12 and 20, you can grab a wide receiver or a pass rusher at 12. Let's say they get Mekhi Lemon at 12, and then later on you grab you a pass rusher at 20. That's not a bad thing. I could also see the Saints making the play saying we're gonna give up 42 and jump up to 29 and grab Chris Bell. I can see that happening as well. So I don't see these scenarios that other people see where the Saints don't get their receiver. You just don't have to reach for one at 8, like Rainey was saying a moment ago.
Uh, B, do you feel like this whole Shuck and Chris Bell connection? Do you think that it could really play out like this in the draft? And do you feel like he can be the next AJ Brown?
I do. And the reason why I do is because, look, I'm basing off recency bias. If your quarterback says, go get me that wide receiver, I'd probably do that, especially if I have the means to do so. The Saints don't have to reach for him at 8. They can trade their second round pick and try to trade up to get him. If the draft is lucky enough to fall to them and they can take him in the second round, you get him. But if Tyler Shuck says, I want that, go get that. Because when Joe Burrow said, I don't care about no damn offensive lineman, go get me Jamar Chase. The Bengals went got him. They have been one of the most potent duos in the NFL since that they hooked up in the NFL. I had somebody tell me, well, it's kind of different because they came up for national championship. No, it's not. It's the same concept. Wide receiver one, QB one, happy pairing that you've already seen work. I'm not trying to hear shit about a national championship because if they wouldn't have won a national championship, it doesn't diminish the connection that they have. They have a great on-field chemistry. Make it happen. Tyler Shuck says he wants Chris Bell. Go get Chris Bell. It's really that simple. And do I think it'll work? Yes, because Chris Bell will not play the same role as Chris Olave. He won't play a Rashid Shaheed. He won't play a Devon Vele. And not to mention that, but I just named some of the players and the reason why you should. Devon Vele, unproven. And the Broncos gave him away. Rashid Shaheed, no longer here. Jalen Polk, that boy was dropping passes, man, in practice. What the hell y'all think he gonna do now? Like he's not proven. Palmer. unproven. If y'all sitting there banking on these dudes being the next, the next big thing, you're out of your damn mind. This ain't the days when Sean Payton was finding free agents off the scrap heap and was able to let them come in. He was able to do that because he had Lance Moore and Marcus Colston or Michael Thomas and Brandon Cooks or whoever else. It's easy to find a fourth wide receiver in the undrafted pool. It ain't easy finding one that's gonna come in and start for you and actually be a difference maker. Like people got to stop getting that shit out there. In order to win in the NFL, you gonna need real talent. That bargain basement shit ain't gonna cut it. And that's what the Saints need to do. Go get real talent. If Shuck want Chris Bell, I'd like to see Chris Bell in the Saints uniform starting this year.
What do you say, Marlon? Do you think the staff should hold stock in the Tyler Shuck lobbying for Chris Bell when the
I
draft
mean,
date?
you should take notice of it. I mean, he a good receiver. Besides, like just him playing with what you call it, I would probably, if he was full healthy, I would probably have him somewhere around like the between 5 and 7 amongst the wide receivers. Like he's a good player. He got a high upside. I'm not gonna necessarily say AJ Brown, but like it is similarities there as far as the size and just like the pure movement. He was kind of used like what AJ Brown was used like in Tennessee. That's kind of, so I think it's more stuff to expand this game. But he definitely worked in New Orleans because like you already have this like pure route runner. So a pure route runner that's fast. So you're not gonna necessarily need him to be like the guy off the bat. So it definitely worked. Far as trading up, I don't necessarily want to trade up, but because I still think he'll be there, and I think it's good receivers in the draft. So I'm kind of against the trade up right now, but I do like the player.
Well, I know why you against the trade up though. That it's a little bit different for you.
Oh, what? Why you say that?
2027. Since me and you
Oh
started
yeah,
getting
yeah.
on hard podcasts, you have
I'm
always
not
said
passing
don't
up.
give up nothing in 2027.
Yeah. Like if you gave up a 2027 pick, like if it was like a fourth round pick, I'm fine. I'm not giving up any day one, day two picks, none of that. Like it's just dudes next year. Again, the top edge rusher next year will be the number one guy this year. The top wide receiver, that's obvious. The second best receiver will be the number one receiver right now. It's a dude named Cam Coleman. He kind of played just like George Pickens. They went to the same high school and everything. But the number one corner next year would go top five this year. Like you got to keep your draft capital next year.
Mm. All right. A lot of people are making a lot of different opinions on Kellen Moore speaking on Alvin Kamara. They was kind of saying he was pretty vague. I seen B. He mentioned Kellen Moore pretty much said the same thing about Derek Carr. Like, is the writings on the wall like for Alvin Kamara? And do you think who's more likely to not be on the team out of Kamara and Cam?
I'm
Uh,
gonna
Go ahead,
I'll
Mark.
go first real quick. I'm gonna say Cam more likely to be back. Like I don't think that, like you said, I don't think the chapter is closed on. I don't think like the window is closed on Jeremiah Love because it's a possibility that he could be the best player available. So like if they take him, it's immediately over and stuff like that. So I think the I don't think they I think if Alvin Kamara is here, it has to be a massive, massive pay cut because obviously you're not about to have a $12 million running back and then another $12 million running back who, like, whether you get mad or
And you
not,
pretty much
he
have
was the
three
worst.
$12 million
Yeah,
running backs because Jeremiah Love, because their impact
yeah.
number gonna be somewhere
Like
around like 12 million too.
whether you want to believe it or not, like Elvin was the worst running back in the league last year on like a lot of different. Whether you want to put the pass game, the run game, pass blocking, he dropped the ball a lot when they threw it to him. Like you you can't keep that contract on. So I think this is definitely the last year if he remains, but it's either pay cut or it's over. Or if they have a chance at Jeremiah Love, then that just ends it right there. That's how I look at it. But I do think Cam gonna be back on the team. I just think it's gonna take a little bit of time. but I don't think he gonna leave.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go with like I see Kamara more likely being gone than Cam.
What you got, B?
I hope Kamara gone. I mean, I hope it. If both of them are gone, that would make me doubly happy, man. But if I had to pick between the two, I'm with Rainey. I think Cam will be back because he's the cheaper contract out of the two. So yeah, I think Cam will be. I think Cam will probably be back, man. Because I don't think anybody's gonna give Cam the money he's looking for. Like, ain't nobody about to give Cam that. Somebody just recently signed a deal. Can't think of who it is, man. It was a defensive player, somebody like that. No, I'm sorry, it might have been
True. Cam
Travis
Hayward.
Kelsey. It was Travis Kelsey.
Oh,
No,
oh.
it was Travis Kelsey. He just got it. And I seen Cam be like, yeah, Trav, get your money. But I'm like, bro, look, the Chiefs did that for him because he's brought them Super Bowls. Cam, you ain't do that for New Orleans, brother. They not about to give you no 3-year deal. I don't care if they can, fix the numbers to where it's really like a 1-year deal. I don't care. The Saints not giving you that. So if Cam can adjust his what he said was the sense have to make sense. I get that. But you also have to understand, brother, you ain't who you think you are. And I respect Cam. I love Cam. I'm not mad if Cam get his final say so here in New Orleans by having a 1-year run. I'm fine with that if that's what's gonna happen. Although again, my personal position would be I'd rather both of them be gone. But I think Cam out of the two would be better because he's the easier fix. You can get Cam way cheaper than you can get AK. That being said, boy, I ain't lying. I'm hoping by some stretch of the imagination. If I was the Saints, I would have did it last year. Alvin Kamara wouldn't have been able to tell me if you trade me, I'ma retire. Boy, we gonna test that theory to the fullest because he'd have been out of here. Ain't no way he would have got them balls off on me. He would have been gone. The minute he finished that statement or hit send or hit tweet or whatever he did, he would have been sipping them pina coladas he was talking about. Enjoy NASCAR, my boy.
Hmm. Is there any word on Taysom Hill?
Yeah, yeah.
Enjoying
The free agent
retirement.
that will not be that will not return. That picture that Taysom gave last year, man, with his hands in the air, kind of doing a salute on his way out. That was the walk off right there. That was like Breeze looking back, in the dome. It's over. And not to mention that, but honestly speaking, I'm kind of like somebody tweeted at me and they were showing me some cat, man. He might have been from like Memphis State. I forget who the player was, but he might have been from Memphis State, Georgia State, one of them like HBCUs type colleges. And he was like, he's like Taysom Hill. He can run, he can catch, he can throw. He can throw. Yeah, you know what?
I'm tired
Kellen
of
Moore
that.
don't want. Well, thank you. Kellen Moore don't want that shit. Kellen Moore does not want
I
Taysom
I
Hill,
got a
and the
I
NFL
got a
can't do
theory, man. I got a theory. Like the only reason that became a thing is because Drew Brees was aging. If you tried that Taysom Hill shit any time from 2006 to 2016, you would have had a serious problem. So like I don't. Again, it was great. He is a great Saints player. He's gonna go to the Saints Hall of Fame. But like that stuff dead, man. And I'm not taking my potential future quarterback off the field. You think New England gonna take Drake May off the field for Taysom Hill to get some snaps? Hell no. That shit, I'm past that, man. We got to get past that.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm been past. Like, man, look, I wish Taysom well. That seven gonna hit like Morton Anderson did back in the '80s. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he had a great career. And if he ever develops into, somebody says, well, Devin Hester made it to the Hall of Fame. Why can't Taysom Hill as a specialist? I'd be fine with that too. I wish him the best. I hope him and his family, are happy and prosperous in whatever they do. I just don't want him on the Saints no more. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's still unhealthy and ain't nobody calling for him. Same thing with Derek Carr. Sit on the sidelines and enjoy TV, my boy.
Hmm. If you like the content, go ahead on and hit the like button to help out with the channel with the algorithm. Go ahead on and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If you're in the comment section or if you're listening, if you got a question for B, if you got a question for Marlon regarding the Saints, go ahead on and put the question down in the comment section below. We'll get to it as soon as possible in orderly fashion. So go ahead on and put your questions down for Marlon and B right now, and we're gonna get to them. Yeah, man. As far as Taysom Hill, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say if he would have been a weapon or not, or if Sean would have, used him way less if Drew Brees was in his prime. Like I think a weapon is a weapon, and you utilize him to the best of your ability. But I do think we overused him when Drew Brees' arm started to diminish, and once we had less and less. talent coming from the offensive side of the ball. Now, if you put Taysom on that 2011 squad when we had the best offense, I could see him getting way less snaps than he got over these past couple of years because that offense right there was potent. So I could see where you're coming from. We got the first question from Johnny. Justin Cash says, "What's your prediction for pick 8 and pick 42? What's a good combo in y'all opinion?" You can go ahead on and answer that first, B.
If I'm being real, my combo would probably be Caleb Downs and Mike Washington. I think that's a fire
Mm, God.
combination, man. I think they're not done at running back, especially with everything we're talking about with Alvin Man. So that's not a bad combo. I guess my next one would be, maybe a Sonny Styles slash, Chris Bell combination because I do feel like you gotta go get him. If that's who Tyler Shuck want, man, just go get the man what he wants. But my combo would be, I think I would take man Caleb Downs, and I think I would take man Mike Washington, bro. I
Mike
think Mike.
Washington. Mike
Yeah,
Washington like that for real?
that
I don't.
I don't know if he's like that. Like this the thing, man. If you pass on the run, if you pass on Jeremiah Love at 8, you ain't gonna find another Jeremiah Love in the rest of the draft. That's just what it is. I like Mike Washington because of his pedigree. He come from an SEC school. He fast. You know what I'm saying? Like he can still catch it out the backfield. So if I had to pick, if I'm going defense first, because I'm gonna go defense first, then I think he would be a nice second pick, man. Like I said, if not Mike Bell, then it's I'm sorry, not Mike Washington, it's Chris Bell. Like it's either or for me. But it's defense first, then offense. That would be my pick.
He that much better than Devin Neal?
Then Devin Neal,
Well,
man, I'm better than Devin Neal, bro. Come on, relax.
Hmm.
I can't take Mike Washington 42. I couldn't. I get the 40 and all that. I couldn't do it. I think this like one of the ones where like if I had the 60th pick, I'd take Mike Washington, but 42, I can't do it. That just goes to tell you the type of gap that Jeremiah Love had on like the position this year. Like this was a really weak running back draft. It's weak. This is a good draft. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't have quarterbacks. It's weak at running back and it's weak at defensive tackle. But for me, I would probably go Caleb Downs. Um, Again, that's been one of my top two prospects all year. So I go Downs, and then I'm going some. I'm gonna go Bell because I think Bell's a good player. But if even if a guy like my favorite receiver in the draft is, I'm not saying he's the best, is this dude named Omar Cooper from Indiana, but
Oh,
like,
I love him.
man, I thought I was telling people we was gonna get Omar Cooper during the season. I'm like, Omar Cooper gonna go. Omar Cooper can be the
He going in the first. He going like
yeah.
somewhere in the mid 20s at the latest.
Yeah, so that really hurt me. But like Omar Cooper, that would have worked too. But like even a guy like if he end up falling, but he's not gonna fall. Casey Concepcion, yeah, he's 5'11", 195. But like, dude, I just want players who good. Like I need that contested catch shit is cool, but like, do you know how to get open? Do you know how to run routes? We can improve everything else from that point. So like if he ended up falling, I'll take him.
That
I'm
that
just
that tight end from Oregon won't be there 42.
nine,
Name
and
happening.
he ain't worked it at in the first round for me. I don't. I got like a high standard for first round tight ends. He cool, he athletic, but like
He ain't
he
gonna he ain't
shouldn't.
gonna last he ain't gonna last that long because this draft is divulged to good tight ends like that.
Yeah.
Mm,
So he a guy that's gonna benefit. He gonna be like if you watch his tape, he probably should be a end of the first round pick, early second, but he
Yeah,
gonna
early
go
second round pick to
higher.
me. Him
Yeah.
and that safety that they got, Thielemann. I think both of them are actually second round picks, but because of the draft and the way it is, I think they're gonna both be like
I
first
ain't
round
I
picks.
ain't gonna lie, beat Damon. If you watch his Purdue tape where they played him at his true position, he a first round pick. But he just moved, he kind of moved and played all over at Oregon. But like his Purdue tape, he better than what
I
he
would,
is. And then he had the
yeah,
athleticism too.
yeah, right there, brother. I would have to see his Purdue tape, fam. I would have to.
mm. Well, I mean, we're gonna have to see. Me personally, since y'all say the defense is very stacked, I would like to go offense at 8. Then I would like to go defense at 42. Uh, Now offense, I probably would have to just get the best wide receiver we think is on the board at the time. That's just me though. But I've been seeing a lot of people, man. They've been coming around to Peter Woods. They've been coming around to that guard from Penn State. You know,
Peter
Uh,
Woods might not even go in the first round.
Peter Woods shouldn't go in the first round, man. Like you know what Peter Woods remind me of? He remind me of a nice coach, right? Like let's say the vet, you know what I'm saying? He got a nice vet, but the engine bad. Yeah, the body look beautiful, but underneath that ticker, that ain't what it is, man. He ain't got that kind of heart for me, man. Like there's a lot to his game I just don't appreciate and I don't like. So to me, he a nice looking coach with no motor. It
mm,
serves you no purpose. All you can do is sit there and look at it. And that's kind of what it reminds me of. What he remind me of. Now, do they need defensive tackle help? Yeah, but I don't think he's the answer to that problem either. Like Peter Woods is not that dude for me. If they gonna gamble at 8, first of all, taking an offensive guard will make me want to choke Mickey Loomis, bro. Like even the dude from Penn State, you can't make that move at 8. Just go ahead on the trade back and just get whatever you can if you're gonna do that. Because I'm pretty sure there's somebody that wants to come up in the draft. Don't draft no damn guard at no 8, man. I'm actually in favor of the Saints moving back and not picking at 8. Period. Me, but I've never seen Mickey Loomis trade down in the first round, so I can't call it.
y'all think a lot of people kind of like coming around to that Penn State guard uh, getting selected? Y'all think people coming around to because it's Kellen Moore and what he did in Philadelphia with their offensive line?
Man,
Hell
he didn't
no.
do shit with that offensive line. That offensive line was always good.
Thank you.
They got a Hall of Famer on their offensive line and a dude that was like developed from the offensive line coach. Like that offensive line always been good. So I can't give him that type of credit. They
Yeah.
just ran the ball a lot. And they just put
Yeah,
Saquon in and ran the
his
ball.
play calling helped out the offensive line that was already there. But no, man, I think he getting way too much credit for that Philly whole line, bro. Like that wasn't him right there. His play designs definitely helped him get his play designs helped Hurst, which made everything else look different.
Hmm. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we was to get the better offensive line, he could get that much more out of Shuck, and maybe we could go on some type of run or something. I don't know.
I don't think they need to take a guard in the first round, period, and definitely not at 8 in order for them to improve the offensive line. You got David Edwards, you got him, Cesar Ruiz. You got to kick that out because that's the weakness on the offensive line. But you don't have to take somebody at 8 in order to make that happen in the first round to make it happen. I don't have that much trust in Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore after a 6-11 season for people to be talking like we should give them the benefit of the doubt. 6-11 ain't that good. At one time, they only had 2 wins, and that was for a very long time. And that wasn't all on Spencer Rattler either. Let's keep it real. That wasn't all on Rattler problem. So no, I'm not about to sit at 8 just so I can have the good feelings that it might work out. No, I'm going to take the best offensive or defensive weapon available, preferably defensive, because again, if Jeremiah Love is not at 8, if somebody takes him at 6, if Tennessee or Kansas City jump up and go get him, okay, I got you. I'm not mad at that because he's not on the board. But if Jeremiah Love is there, you take Jeremiah Love, you worry about the rest of it afterwards. Hell, I wouldn't be mad if they took Jeremiah Love at 8 and then got Chris Bell at 42. It would be I don't care. God forbid, the draft,
We hear,
first two
we hear a lot
days
of
of the draft. My bad, brother. I'm trying to stay out because they got a forklift loading the cocoa van. If I pick at 8, bro, give me Jeremiah Love, give me Chris Bell at 42. They don't have to pick a defensive player to the third round, and I'd be just fine with that, bro, because they need to walk away after them first 2 days of the draft. The thing we need to be saying about the Saints is they got instant impact players. The first day they step on the field, they're gonna make an impact. Right now, that's more defensive players than offense. But if that's how it's gonna roll, I'll take it just like that. Give me the offense.
we got another question from Justin Cash. If y'all like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what you're waiting on, hit the
Thank you, my brother.
sub button.
Catch y'all tomorrow.
Also, if y'all got any questions for Marlon and B, y'all put them down in the chat. We're gonna get to them as soon as possible in orderly fashion. So go ahead on and put y'all questions down in the chat below. We're gonna read y'all questions off and get them answered. We got Justin Cash with another question. Says thoughts on Keontae Scott on day 2 of the draft.
That's a good option. Especially to play the star position. Um, now I think you probably have to take him at 42. Me personally, I would want him at 70. But
Yes.
like, I mean, it's a good option though.
Ain't that small wide receiver?
No,
No, no, no.
that's the cornerback. He's a cornerback
He's
from
a like a
Miami.
cornerback star from Miami.
He's a faster version of CJ Gardner Johnson. He's a faster version of him as far as his ability to play all over the place. He's faster. He probably hit harder, and he's smarter. Because let's be honest, CJ wasn't the sharpest knife in the draw, bro. But I like Keontae Scott. As like Rainey said, if you can get him in the third round, cool. But I don't think he's gonna make it to the third round. That being said, again, I'm for me, I'm not opposed to the Saints trading around in this draft, however they have to. I'm with Rainey in the idea of I don't want you to have to give up anything significant in 2027 to move around. So let's say if it's the second round, late second round, and you know what I'm saying, the Saints are like, man, you know what, we want Keontae Scott that bad. Okay, so what you do is you might have to give up a third and a fourth to move up to that last that you know that last tier of that. Okay, if you got to give up a third and a fourth, all right, so be it. Give those two up, man, and go get your second round because who you gonna get in the third round probably not gonna be better than Keontae Scott, and you still got the picks that you needed. You got your first round pick, you got your second round pick, and now you got two second round picks, which is essentially your third. I'm fine with that. You got two fourth round picks. They got two. The Saints, I believe, have two fourths, two fifths, two six. You don't need all of that shit, man. Them niggas might not even make the roster. You got Matavia or the Rocky, the Hard Rock Priest, or whatever the hell he is playing tight end. That was a 7th round pick. You don't even make the roster. He didn't play a snap of offensive snap, if I'm not mistaken. You don't your 7th round pick. You're not counting on him to make your roster like that. So if you got to give up a sixth in order to move up into the second round, bro, do that. Do whatever you got to do to get the most talent in this draft. As long as you don't have to touch 2027. I'm for whatever. I don't care
Mhm.
how they musical chairs that shit. Just don't touch 2027.
What you got, Marlon?
What? What was the question again? I just need to
Thoughts on
recap.
Keontae Scott on day two of the draft?
Oh, I said it
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah, Marlon
It's a
let off.
solid pick.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shit. I just had my next question in my head. But besides that, man, it'll come back to me. But I do got another question. What about your thoughts on Zach Wilson getting on the team and we didn't go with a veteran? Some people
I
they
mean, he
not,
is a vet. he,
well,
he just young. He just like the same age as Chuck.
well, yeah. Well, when I say veteran, I mean like some people want a guy who is at least 30 years old.
For what?
Oh,
Why,
like a
why do
Teddy
they want all these
Bridgewater.
old ass people on the team, man? What is wrong with these people? All these senior citizens, they're trying to get them play football.
They
No,
want they
the
hey
reason why
man
I
B. They
like
just
Zach
looking out.
Wilson, they look for the names, bro. They all they care about is
They
names.
just they want them guys to get their insurance policies, man. They good people.
That pretty much. You can't get your AAR. Look, Mickey Loomis is making it clear. You can't get your AARP card with us. Ain't no more thank you for your service contracts. That's out the window. I like Zach Wilson for this reason and this reason only. Sometimes, sometimes you can tell a hell of a lot more by listening to how somebody made a mistake than you ever can from when they were successful. Zach Wilson has been through bullshit in the NFL. For him to be able to tell Tyler Shuck, these are all the mistakes I made, might be a hell of a lot more valuable than him telling him, man, this is all the success I've had. This is what I did when I was successful. No, I was with a shitty organization. I had a shitty team built around me. They put a whole lot on my back that I couldn't handle at the time. I was seeing ghosts out there. When you see this coming at, when you see that boy coming from that left side, man, he coming. Don't think that. Don't count on your tackle stopping him. Pretend he's coming. Be prepared for that. I could get a hell of a lot more information out of Zach Wilson and his mistakes than I could from a guy like Teddy Bridgewater and his successes. I'm good. Give me. I'm glad they got Zach Wilson. It's a non-threatening pick. If you can flip him and develop him in any kind of Sam Darnold type of way, you can flip him or Spencer for that matter. You in good shape because he's young enough to where if you flip him, you can keep him or Spencer. He's also young enough if you rehab him, he can still get a contract next year with somebody else. Man, this is a perfect scenario. And it's not like he don't have talent. And you know what I'm saying? He's not. He doesn't lack talent. He was shitty with the Jets, which everybody can say.
what you got, Marlon?
I didn't have a problem with the signing, bro. It's like probably veteran minimum. He's played. It's a better third quarterback to have than have. than having Jake Hayner on the team.
Hmm.
So like, I mean, it's no problem. They need another guy in the room anyway. The preseason games might actually look like some fun once him and Rattler play against backups and third and fourth stringers
Yeah.
and dudes who's
That's.
not gonna be in the league. So that's entertaining to me right there.
Hmm. Yeah. I do like the fact that we still got Rattler on the team. I think he could be a good, backup quarterback. So if anything do happen with Shuck, like I think that he can at least
Yeah,
man the ship until Shuck get back.
yeah.
If
You
he
still
miss a
got
couple.
Rattler for 2 more years, so you should just, it's good to have good backups. Backups important.
Mm. Justin Cash says, "What will be the compensation in y'all opinion if this happens?"
If what
If
exactly
what
happens?
happens,
Oh, I think he said, "I can see the Cowboys potentially trading up with the Saints. I think the Cowboys want Mansour. So, what will be the compensation in y'all opinion if that happens?"
I think it would be
I
like
think
a.
yeah.
Oh, you got to be. You
Go ahead,
got it.
Marlon. No, go ahead,
I
Marlon.
think it would
I'm
be.
gonna defer to you.
I think it would be like a first. You swapping first. You might get a third. You can get the third round pick that they just got back. And me personally, I want a future pick. So if you want Delane that bad, we can swap picks. We can do the swap. But if you want him that bad, I want your future second round pick. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get the 2027 second round pick if I can get that. So that's kind of how I'll be trying to play it. We not getting two firsts for that. To move up 4 picks. That's it's not a quarterback. It's not a quarterback trade, and it's not in the top 5. Like how Jacksonville last year they moved from 5 to 2, like but that's a top 5 pick for the second pick. So the price gonna be higher when you outside the top 10 or you out when you like in the after the top 5 range. The price changed. So if I can get like if we can swap one for 12.92 and I can get a future second round pick, we good, in my opinion.
That's a beautiful compensation package, bro. I got no issues with that. Now, do I think if the Cowboys are desperate enough, depending on what happens, will they give up more? Like I understand that the likelihood of the Cowboys giving up 12 and 20 is slim and none. As slim as on life support. So I get it. The question is, if a player is that if they want bad enough, it's what Rainey said. You got two choices. Either you're gonna give me a lot now, or you're gonna give up a future pick next year that you might not want to give up. And it has to be a second round pick because I'm giving you the eighth pick in this draft. So yeah, you got to come up off. You got to come up. It's got to hurt some kind of way if you're the Cowboys. And you either giving up 12 or 20 now, or you giving me a first, a third, and a second. Your choice.
I don't think I asked y'all this yet. I'm not sure, but um, when it comes to this digital age that we in, and we coming into this, era of influence with social media and streaming and stuff like that, a lot of current players are getting into it. Like I think one of the first players I seen that's currently in the league do it and is actually good is Michael Parsons, and he was doing it with the Cowboys. And I guess a lot of people ain't really like that, especially after losses and stuff. He just get on there. It's kind of like how the Saints fan base don't like when Cam talk about the 24-hour rule. Uh, but he'll get on there and he'll discuss what happened after a loss on his podcast. And some fans just don't really like that. They'll rather you just be a ghost and just be training. Um, but coming into this new era, you got a lot of other players doing it. You got CJ Gardner Johnson, he got Twitch, and now a lot of players of the draft, they're gonna have their own platforms and podcasts. So Caleb Downs, he's got a podcast with his brother. That's another thing. Like I want to know, are we sleeping on his brother? Being a possible mid-round pick or late-round pick. But
But
I want to know, do
his
y'all have?
brother already in the league.
His brother already in the league. His brother been in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm I'm on record as saying if they draft Caleb, I wouldn't mind them trading a fourth round pick for Josh either.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
Oh,
I was.
they ain't letting Josh go, man. They lost
No,
Michael Pittman.
They ain't letting Josh go, man.
He a
Oh,
good Josh Downs a good player though.
Yeah, he
Like he
good. I
always
know
been a
Indy
good
ain't letting
player.
him on. I know Indy ain't getting off that, man. I know that. And he on a good contract. Indy ain't letting on.
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to ask y'all, what do y'all see this for going in the future with players? Where it's going to be more and more popular. Players just becoming a brand of themselves, and having their podcast, talking like immediately right after the game, once they get home and get to their equipment, or they probably start streaming and start talking from it right in their car. Like, would y'all have a problem with that if we were to select Caleb Downs? If you don't feel like it's affecting his game, you could go first, B.
Uh, I don't, because look, man, we all are in a time in which you got to have multiple streams of revenue in order for you to even live right about now. I mean, I've been complaining about gas prices for the last couple of days, and that's because I don't know if I should say I'm blessed right now or if it's a gift and a curse because my rig is down, so I haven't been driving my rig. I've been driving a cargo van, and I've been having to fill it up. If I was on diesel right now, I'd be paying like damn near $6 a gallon just to move around. And a truck takes 120 gallons easy. So I'm like, bro, that's on one tank. That's not even counting both. Like I'm talking like, man, that's serious bread I got to put out. So if that's the case, I need multiple streams of revenue. Can't be mad at the players if they saying, look, I'm gonna get this NFL money, but I'm gonna go get some podcasting money. I'm gonna go get some endorsement money. Like you need multiple streams of revenue. I'm not mad at it. If I'm an NFL team, that's going to be the deciding factor. Is his podcast worth the aggravation of the player? Because Chauncey Gardner Johnson, he's good when he's on your team. He's aggravating as hell when you're on another team. So if he go to getting out there and he the broadcasting, yeah, me and Michael Thomas got into a fight because I call that nigga slam boy, he punched me in my jaw. Like that's maybe not something I want out there in public. So I might have to, put a curtail on that in your contract. Other than that, if the teams don't have a problem with it, I ain't got one either. I ain't got to listen to your podcast. And at some point, if your podcast becomes shitty, the fans will let you know.
What you got,
I
Marlon?
don't, I don't, I'm not really like, I don't really, care about the podcast stuff. Just as long as you like I'd rather a player have a podcast than a player you constantly got to worry about getting in trouble. And like, I listened to the Downs podcast before, like, they ain't talking about nothing like crazy and stuff like that. So it's a good podcast. I don't want you like, I have a, what Puka did before that game and letting Aiden Rush come and try to get the guy Aiden Rush to come into the facility, that's way more of a problem than
Yes.
having a podcast because that was a dog, that was a huge game. That was the week because everybody knew, like I think early on, like probably around December, it was clear who was the best two teams in the NFC was. And you knew that Thursday night game against Seattle was huge. Now Puka, he did what he had to do that game. Fuck under he was under attack basically, and he came with 225 yards and two touchdowns. So he did his job, but like it's just that's a distraction, especially with like Aiden Rush, the shit that he be doing. So that's more of an issue for me. It's just like even with Chauncey Gardner Johnson, I don't have a problem if he on Twitch. The problem with Chauncey Gardner Johnson is like why he got cut in Houston is he tried to fight their best player, Derek Stingley. Like nigga, you not about to go say nothing to my best players who was here when this shit was nothing. So you're not gonna fight, and he bringing up people money in an argument and how much money they make. That's way worse than like having a Twitch stream or a podcast. So as long as you ain't like going outside the lines and doing shit like that, I don't really care.
Mm. Yeah, man, we getting into this digital age, bro. I just feel it's gonna get more bigger and bigger. I know I see a lot of people saying I can't wait to streamer and influencer culture die. I don't think it's dying at all. I think it's just gonna get even bigger. Like those Black Mirror episodes we used to be watching, all that stuff gonna be coming to a lot of fruition in my opinion. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. But sure, man. We was talking about something earlier with Taysom Hill. I wanted to get y'all opinion. Like, damn, that do sound kind of interesting. How y'all think Taysom Hill would have been on that 2011 team?
I don't think he would have played.
I was going to say the
Ooh.
same thing. I don't think Taysom would have got that run like that, bro. We talking about the greatest offense in NFL history, bro. Like the greatest offense. And you had Jimmy Graham on the team with Darren Sproles, man.
Man, you was
Almost
full
posting.
dog. Yo, this is what people don't be realizing about that team. They took Mark Ingram in the first round, and you could argue that he was the fourth running back on the team. That's how deep they were as like a roster.
Mm. Yeah, man, that 2011 team, boy. Every time I think about that team, I just think about Pierre Thomas getting knocked out that first drive we had, boy. I really
Mhm.
think that right there changed the game so much. That changed the game, though. It was just like how when we played, I think there was the no call game or something, and one of the tight ends had got hurt, and I think Sean Payton said he had to scrap so much percentage of the playbook because after that happened.
He said he was healthy. He came on Twitter and said that he was right. He was healthy enough to play that game, and they didn't play him.
Oh, Benjamin Watson.
Yeah, he said that about sometime either last summer or last year. He said he was healthy enough. He was willing to play that game. He was healthy enough to play because that's a Super Bowl on the line. The shit different. It's not a regular season game.
See, man, I be wondering what be happening, dog. Because I know Benjamin Watson ain't no troublemaker, so I can't really see Sean Payton punishing him, making an example. But then again, like that be making me think, like, okay, do this rig stuff be really going on? Like people making plays behind the scenes saying this player can't play, like that would be raising my eyebrow, like that type of stuff.
It's always funny in the league, man, because I still ain't never seen the play that Bo Nix got hurt on. He just got hurt.
So I'm saying be stuff like that, bro. And I still to this day be thinking about that game with the Broncos with Cam. Like no way he couldn't have jumped on that ball.
Mhm. What game?
The game when he played against the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Oh, oh,
That was the Broncos. Was that the Broncos or the
Yeah,
Seahawks?
yeah, that
no,
was the
that was the
Broncos.
Broncos. It was the Broncos.
Yeah, I think he could have jumped on that damn ball. Like certain stuff like that. And then I remember what his name is. One of the Bucks players said, "Man, they knew the whole Raiders playbook before the Super Bowl."
Oh, that was that Super Bowl.
And he was an MVP, so he ain't really like he had no reason to lie, like nothing to gain or something. Like
Mhm.
what that boy name was, Dwight Smith, something. His name, he was the safety on the Bucks, man. I forgot his name. But yeah, bro, stuff like that be really tripping me out, bro. Because I remember now that you say he came out and said he could have played that game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know Benjamin Watson did say he
Because
could have played that
I
game.
was a big fan of Benjamin Watson, bro. Like he ain't
yeah, he
really
a good
talking
player, man.
about. Yeah,
He
he
always
was
been a good
solid.
player.
He was solid. Mm. So who that Cooper wide receiver? What's a comparison for? What's a league comparison for him? Because I've been starting to see a lot of people talk about him as of late.
In my opinion, I would say like he remind me of a Luther Burton type receiver. They
Mm.
really hard to tackle. You can line them up a lot of different places. Like I like Shaheed, but it was stuff that like even as a punt returner, I thought Shaheed would be better as far as like run after the catch. You put a guy like Cooper in Shaheed role, then you don't have to go play with Chris role and make him play something else because Shaheed can't do certain stuff. So like I think it's like imagine replacing Shaheed, but with a player, even if he's not the burner that he is, he's just better at playing wide receiver than him. So he can run routes better than him. He can line up in more places better than him. He can break tackles. You can do just a lot of stuff with him. So that's kind of how I look at it.
He's like a Mecca Ibuka to me.
Oh, I think it's disrespectful to put Emeka Ibuka and him on the same thing. I don't think they play it like at all. That nigga break
No,
tackles like a fucking I would say he more DJ Moore than Emeka Ibuka. I would say like a DJ Moore type player. Do that fit better, B?
You said what, Marlon?
I would say he's more like DJ Moore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about him as of late. I think shit, man. Like all these wide receivers, they pretty much got a good trait to them, So I think they can all help out, no matter who we pick at 8. I really feel like no matter who we pick at 8, we pretty much gonna be, you know, in some good standings because I don't think we're going to get no trench player. I think we're going to either get I think we're going to get either a pass rusher, a safety, or a wide receiver. That's just my honest opinion. Um, we got Justin Cash with another question. I'm gonna let these guys get up out of here soon, so y'all go ahead on and put y'all last questions up in the comment section. We're gonna get to them as soon as possible, and I'm gonna let y'all finish off with y'all last question that y'all want to get off before I let these guys go. So put y'all last questions in the comment section. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead on and hit the sub button. We got Justin Cash with another question that says thoughts on Oscar Delp.
I like him. I think he's fast. I think he can. Most importantly, he can block. So it's not gonna be like predictable when he's in the game what type of plays happening because he can either catch or block. Um, I think he's one of those guys. It might look underwhelming statistically in college, but he's gonna be a way better NFL player than what he was a college player, just off of like pure usage. So like if he came here, he'll probably start out as tight end three, but like probably like his second year, he could probably be your best tight end on the roster. Now he
I
still
can't
got to put the work in, but he gonna be a good player to me.
can't say it no better. I think he's a sleeper pick, bro. If you get him, you have him in your program for like 2 years, you pop up in year three, and everybody be like, "Damn, I can't believe we passed on this dude. This dude was always there." And the Saints might be able to get him in like the third round.
I think, and that yeah, I think like the mock system be having him like the they be having him like the fifth round and sixth round. I think I'm comfortable taking his profile in the third round because I don't think you can always just look at pure stats on a tight end. You got to look at like I look at more of the pure blocking. Can you block or are you willing to block more than other stuff like that? And he's willing to do that, but he's like a George Kittle level athlete.
What's a sleeper pick that nobody's really talking about like that, at 8? And what's a sleeper pick nobody's not really talking about like that that could be possibly at 42?
Sleeper at 8. Um, I don't really think it's no sleepers anymore. I think
Well,
maybe
when I see these mock drafts, I do see names that I don't usually see, and when I see these names, everybody get mad. So
so.
like,
Like
what's
what names?
the edge from Texas Tech?
I don't think that's a sleeper pick.
Okay, well,
Danny
what's a
Dimes.
name that not just common amongst the masses like the Caleb Downs and the Jordan Tysons? Just something that's that not many people saying, but if it happens, you wouldn't be mad.
Um, damn, that's kind of tough.
I'm gonna try to give it a crack, brother. So let me know if let me know if you agree or disagree. I think a guy like Kendrick Falk, picking him at 8 is a sleeper pick. Some mock drafts will have him there. They can justify by saying he's one of the top edges and all of this stuff. But I wouldn't be mad if he's the pick. I just don't think he should be a pick at 8.
I would be filming. I would be like how I was when they took. I'm not gonna say Penning, but God, yeah, I'm gonna be mad as hell. That nigga not the 8 pick in the draft at all. I do
And
not believe
that's
in taking dudes who you a pass rusher that can't rush the passer. Like he cannot rush the passer. If he would
like
have, he probably should have ballooned up or gained some weight and played as a defensive tackle or try to come in as a D tackle. I would maybe have a better opinion of him, but like I wouldn't touch him in the first round. That's just me personally. I don't believe in that big archetype of those 6'6" guys, 6'5", 6'6" guys that don't know how to rush the passer at all. He
in
basically
the
a big ass run defender.
in the 3-4, he's a defensive end.
When I
In the
said
3-4,
Caleb
he
Banks
got to play
before
on defense.
injury,
Yeah,
Caleb
you.
Banks not a first round pick to me. As far as like I know he's big, athletic, but you 6'6", 330, and you can't even play against the run. Like I got high expectations on like defensive tackles. He don't meet the requirements. This ain't a defensive tackle class to me. That's like I said, that's the three positions I think weak. DT, running back, and QB.
What about a sleeper at 42? Maybe like I know I see a lot of people talk about Harold Perkins.
Oh hell no.
But Harold Perkins shouldn't even be a second round pick.
Dog, Harold Perkins should be like a 6th round pick, and that's just you taking a chance on his athleticism.
Hmm.
But I guess sleeper, um, maybe because he not spoken about, but like I'm gonna put that dude from Indiana, D'Angelo Pines, the cornerback. He like 5'9", but that nigga just good, bro. Like he's small, but he 5'9", like he 5'9", but he have the athleticism. When you small like that, you gotta back it up with athleticism. Like he probably ran a they said he ran a 4.2 at the combine. Or at the pro day yesterday. I ain't gonna say it's a 4.2, but he ran. That's definitely a 4.35. So that's the type of speed you need when you small. He got a 43-inch vertical, and then like he just know how to stick to the receiver. Now he played outside, and they project him playing inside in the league. But like that little dude that played for New England is a good player, and he played in the inside. Marcus Jones, and he's like that level of athlete, and Pond's a little bit bigger than him. So I say that's a sleeper pick.
What you got, B?
At 42, man, it's kind of hard to say because I feel the same way about 42 as I do about 8, bro. Like with this particular draft, they ain't no real sleeper picks in the first 2 days, man. Like everybody who's supposed to be there, like it's kind of been mocked. Like there's probably a mock draft somewhere out there that's got the Saints picking who just mentioned Keontae Scott. They might have him picking him in the second round. Like I don't really think it'd be a reach or a surprise to see the Saints do that. I don't know if there's any sleepers in the first 2 days. The sleepers are gonna come in day 3, day 4. I don't know about the first 2 days. It would be I'd be hard pressed to maybe man. I'm trying to think. I just know Harold Perkins ain't it. Uh,
Yeah, man, that's that like we got to get out this LSU shit. And I'm an LSU fan, die hard, but I know how to separate my LSU fandom from my Saints fandom. Like I got LSU players I root for in the league and all that, but like we got to like start telling the truth about some of these guys is like as far as prospects. Like everybody from LSU can't play on the team with the Saints. And the Saints have never really had a chance at like to draft a lot of these great LSU players in the league. It's some guys who they passed up on, but like, nigga, we didn't get a chance at no Justin Jefferson, or they should have traded up for that, but we didn't get a chance at no Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. So we got to stop acting like they just willingly passing up LSU players. Like I don't agree with that line of thinking.
Yeah, and it's crazy because boy, if Sean Payton was here, boy, would have for sure got Tate, would have for sure got Downs, would have for sure got one of these, all these Ohio State prospects
And
is nice.
Sean Payton ain't taking no damn receiver. Not at
Oh,
8.
yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. Shit. What y'all think about the Pelicans, man? We're gonna talk about the team across the street, man. Shit. I mean, they ain't really been, just going off like that, but I do see some, promise with Bay. He's been coming around to me, Sadiq Bay. When we first got him on the team, I was like, I don't really know about him. I'm kind of unsure, but I really see some promise with him. I really see promise with Fears. He been coming around even more. He been getting more playing time. Dejounte, he's been steady coming off the injury. Uh, I really think the team, as far as the roster itself, is good, but I think a lot of people just feel like Zion is the linchpin. Like, what we gonna do with Zion? Like, if we're gonna, keep him, or we gonna just full fledged build around him with the team that we have, or if we're gonna just trade him and really just try to make something happen. Like, what's your thoughts on the Pelicans right now, currently, B?
I mean, look, the Pelicans we all knew wasn't gonna make the playoffs, and they kind of damaged that on the minute they didn't fire Willie Green going into the season. So everything that happened this season was basically trying to find out what do we have in these rookies, and can our injured players come back and be healthy? What Joe Dumars said, I got to give him credit for. He said when healthy, this is a playoff team. They just might be that. The problem is they ain't never healthy, and to me, and for as much as I like the advancement that James Borrego has given them,
he's not the answer at coach to me. I think in order to truly get the full potential out of the Pelicans, you're gonna have to go find you a coach that one of those high dollar coaches. It might have to be a Mike Malone or somebody like that. But my problem with the Pelicans is that they're gonna do just what they always do. They're gonna pretend that what we're better than we think we are. We don't need to go get a Mike Malone to be the head coach. We'll give James Borrego $5 million or $7 million or whatever like that to coach the team every year. And in 3 years from now, they'll be looking for a new coach. You see what Sadiq Bey can do. Keep Sadiq Bey. Get rid of Jordan Poole. He serves you no damn purpose. Get rid of a Jordan Hawkins. Purpose. Like I believe Jordan Hawkins was ruined by Willie Green, but at this point he done. Like so, don't make no luxury tax moves. You're not a luxury tax team. Go into the off season. You identified your core. Keep your core. Get rid of everybody you can get rid of because you don't have no draft picks, and try to solidify your team to get you a big and a shooter. Maybe you can get one in the same player. A big, that's a shooter. But you need to do something different. And you can't go pay no Karl Anthony Towns the money he's looking for. You can't trade for DeAndre Ayton. That boy, he's soft as baby shit. So go into the season with the people you have. Try to get yourself a big and a shooter that can rebound and somebody that can give you some outside spacing and just try to make the best of it because the Pelicans gonna do what the Pelicans do. They're gonna be just good enough not to win shit.
Mhm.
What you got, Marlon? What you think the Pelicans should do from this point on to try to improve themselves once the off season come about?
Sell the team. Fuck, cause that's the only way they improve. Come on, man. You think they about to do anything? They ain't even. Them niggas ain't even. They ain't even answer. Them niggas ain't give a press conference or interview this year, man. I'm just waiting for the. I just want to see. I don't root. I ain't a Pelicans fan right now no more until the team showed. But like, I don't watch their games because I watch the good teams play.
Yeah,
Basketball is sport. You got to watch the niggas who good play and who entertaining. They not entertaining to me. I like Fierce. I always like Fierce though, and I like Trey Murphy. But I think they got to start making some tough decisions. I'm looking to trade some players. You identify you a core and all that. So if you keep DeJounte Murray and stuff next year, at least starting the season, you got to seriously consider trading Zion and all that. You got to have conversations with Herb Jones because I I don't like really necessarily like that contract for a guy that can't shoot at all. He's still a good defensive player, but he's not the same defensive player that he was. So, and then he make like double the money now or 30 to 33, 40% more than what he was making. So I think that's a conversation to have. But I mean, bro, I don't even they gonna let James Borrego go and they gonna come and hire Kevin Ollie or fucking Darwin Ham. So shit just never gonna get better.
mm. All right, man. If y'all enjoyed the stream, go ahead on and hit the like button. Go ahead on and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Appreciate y'all for watching the stream. I'm gonna let these guys get up out of here, but before I do, I'm gonna go ahead on and let them tell y'all what they can find you at where y'all can find them at on Twitter, and I'm gonna get their last thoughts on the Saints. Currently. So I'm gonna go ahead on and start with B. Go ahead on and let them know where they can find you at on Twitter, and just give some last thoughts before you sign out on the Saints.
I'm on Twitter daily, causing trouble as always. Battle Rap Bets. It's all one word. BATTLERAPBETS. Battle Rap Bets. You can find me on there. I'm probably causing trouble now because I done said some negative shit about Leslie Jones, and I got people in the feelings telling me I'm anti-black. Mind you, how funny that shit is, considering my dad was a fucking member of the Black Panthers. But I'm anti-black because I said Leslie Jones is out here trying to tell black women not to go get married. Well, I guess I am, Nick, because shit, I ain't got no problem with saying Leslie Jones' ugly ass ain't the person that should be delivering that message. So that being said, you can find me on Twitter, causing trouble just like that on a daily basis. I'm always there. And that's where I'll be later on, probably doing the same thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
guys can find me on Twitter at It's Rainy Doe, ITSRAINEYDOE. And I'm not necessarily causing trouble, but I'm just constantly debating sports at this point because that's how I get my day going.
Mhm.
And that's all.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all for coming on the stream. Until next time, we're gonna get to whenever some more news drop. But man, y'all have a good rest of y'all day, man. Until next time, man. Who that?
All
Salute,
right, y'all
fellas.
take care, man. Y'all take care.
All right, y'all. Y'all hit the like button. Appreciate y'all for everybody in the chat. Shout out to Keeping It Real Saints. Y'all go subscribe to Dove channel. He do an amazing job with sports coverage on the Saints and other teams as well. Shouts out to Jerry. He's always supporting everybody. Shout out to UD, Justin Cash. Uh, Also, we got Rose City in the building. Also, we got T Dirt in the building. Y'all go subscribe to T Dirt if y'all want to hear some raw and uncut Saints fan perspectives. And that boy, he real funny. Y'all go subscribe to him. And everybody in the chat, man. Derek, appreciate all y'all for stopping by, man. Until next time, I'm out. Who that? And shout out to that boy B Rankin. I'm out.